our blueberry bushes came, Bucket. Are you excited? Okay, let's go plant them. Yay! Let's go plant them. Hey guys, welcome back to our garden. We are going to be planting blueberry bushes today. If you saw my previous video, we prepped the soil for these blueberry bushes a few weeks ago and they just came in the mail. So it's time to get them in the ground. So wanted you guys to be able to join along with us on it as we plant these guys. I'm curious to see how big they'll be because I did pay extra to get the jumbo size in the hopes that we would get some berries a little sooner. So fingers crossed, hope that's the case. Yeah, so we're gonna unpackage them, see what we've got to work with, and go from there. Okay, let's see what we've got. They're pretty heavy, so that's a good sign that they have a decent root ball. Oh, look at them. Oh, goody, that's exciting. Look at this guy. Aw, welcome to your new home, buddy. We've got one little broken twig, but for the most part, this looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. We've even got some leaves coming on, so yay. All right, let's pull him out. And get this guy. We got both of these from Gurney's. So we purchased their Kablooey variety and trying to remember what the second one was. I think they're both high bushes, northern high bush. Okay, hey, look at that dude. Oh yeah, he's a big boy. All right. Currently, I don't see any kind of identification on these as to what variety they are, which is a little funky. This stuff here is just, I think, to keep them moist in transit, so we'll remove that. Here we go, there it is. All right, so this is the Jersey variety that we got. That was the second one, the Jersey. I think that's a pretty common northern high bush variety, so we've got that guy. And that should mean that this is our Kablooey, I think. Get this off here. Remove this. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, Kablooey. All right, so that's a great start. We've got both of the varieties that we ordered. Now we just got to get them in the ground. Okay. So we're going to need to start by pulling the pine bark back so I can get at the dirt. And we'll just kind of move this back to the sides so that we can create a hole. And if needed, I can always pull it off to the side here a little bit to make some space, and then we'll transfer it back in there once we get the hole dug. It's a rock. So blueberries have a very shallow root system, which is why it's really important to layer on a nice thick layer of mulch, because you want to hold that moisture as close as you can to the surface so that their roots remain hydrated, but they don't like to have wet, soggy roots. So they like good drainage. They just really need to be protected from drying out up at the surface. So I'm just gonna try to pull this back as good as I can. Okay, so when you pull them out, see that we had a little damage, but nothing substantial. The main branch is good and sturdy. So when you pull a plant out, any kind of plant, you want to support it as best you can at the base and try not to yank on it too much. There we go. And we're just gonna kind of try not to disturb it too much. Just set them right back in there. You don't have to worry about burying them deeper than they came. You just kind of want to have it the surface of the pot, the potted dirt, is about what you want the surface to be. So that was easy enough. He just kind of nest right back in there. Now we're going to add our mulch back on top. All right, one bush down. Let's see if we can. There we go. There he is. So, same process all over again. I'm just gonna go ahead and staple this tag onto one of his branches. So give it some room to grow, but I'm just gonna staple it on here so that I know what variety we've got, because it's amazing how over the course of a year, you forget things like that. All right, guys, thanks for joining us in the garden again today. It's fun to share these little adventures with you guys. It's also really neat to see how approachable gardening can be when you break it up into smaller projects. So for example, the fact that I prepped this dirt ahead of time, gave it time to sit and acidify a little bit, made this project so much easier, because today all I had to do was come out and put the bushes in the ground. So if you're feeling intimidated by gardening, just remember you can break it up into those smaller bite-sized chunks, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot more approachable. Post down in the comments if you have any questions, if you have tried planting blueberries yourself and have any tips and tricks I should be aware of as we start our journey with these guys. I'm new to growing blueberries, so pretty excited to give it a try, and crossing my fingers hoping we might actually get a couple berries this season, maybe even, since we invested in the bigger bushes. So, all right guys, see you later, bye.